The meeting of the Plaquemines Council as sole governing authority of the Plaquemines Port Auburn Terminal District is now called to order. The machines are open. Let the record state that we have 8 council members present. Commissioner McCarty is out of the room, but she'll be back in a minute. Next item.
Item 2, executive session will be deferred. 3, status report by the executive port director.
So good evening. The first slide, we actually have the port's financial report, and it will be up in 1 second. The net position, there's a $69,000 change, and that's also with the unrestricted, and that's just because of some transactions. One of them was a drone. We received a grant for a drone. We unfunded and refunded some positions. If you can go to the next slide, please. Any questions on the financials? Okay. The next slide is just kind of an introduction of what to expect for our budget meeting next week. I won't really go into the details for the sake of saving time, but you have a copy of that, and that is what everyone should expect when we go into the meeting next week. Ferry projects, the repair work on Point LaHash Ferry Landing is going very well. The bridge sections are making good progress. They're actually being sandblasted and getting ready to be treated. The riprap process is complete. We're just waiting for an update from the Corps of Engineers. We are anticipating a change order next week, which will probably equal about $180,000. That's for the head beams that we discussed in the past. Some additional work we have to do on the ferry barge and et cetera. But we are still on target to complete that emergency repair January of 2025. The replacement, the grant is still in place. We do have a favorable position from DOTD's contracting office that the port can do a CMAR contract, and we are a good candidate for that, and we're just working closely with DOT to push that forward. No change on the diesel ferry, the new build ferry, the diesel electric ferry. The Plaquemines Pride is still waiting to go into the yards. We're waiting for, I think we have an additional week with some advertisement that takes place with DOTD. And then the vessel will actually be able to go into the yards. Port Authority 1 and 2 are still in the yards and repairs are underway. The Walker Road, Peters Road Bridge, the $7.4 million grant through Federal Highway is still being discussed. We did have a funding obligation meeting last month. We also had discussions with the DOTD secretary regarding whether the port could be the recipient or it would be DOTD, so we are kind of going back and forth. There was some dialogue about, Senator Connick had some concerns about somewhat of a cost-benefit analysis of, okay, if we drop it from 100 feet to the bridge from 100 feet to 73 feet, what is the actual savings, and is it really worth it for us to do that? So we have a report that we're going to send out first thing tomorrow morning, but essentially by dropping the bridge from 100 feet to 73 feet, the savings is about $19 to $20 million. And in terms of any additional time, the bridge under BKI was, the engineering was completed to about 60%, but so much time has elapsed where that would have to be redone anyway. So anything that we do engineering-wise for the 73 feet, we're not going to lose any time. So our recommendation is going to be to move forward, save the $19 to $20 million, and lower the bridge. The ports also, we have in our 5-year capital budget a plan to find funding for the construction. So we have 2 years to go out and find about $50 million for the construction. SP early termination, we did have a call with SP today. We anticipate that we will have a executive session on the 12th of December to talk about what our recommendations will be moving forward. 11 Mile Rail extension is still on hold because it is really pending what happens with the SP early termination agreement. Land purchases, no significant changes since the last meeting. The water booster station, we are cleared to go ahead and approve and move forward with the second phase of contracting for the water lines that would actually complete that project. We anticipate that the water booster station project will be completed around the end of the first quarter of 2025. On the human resources side, I mean, we've talked about the special entry rate. We have a permanent approval, and we're excited about that because that is going to open the door for us to be a lot more competitive with our professional captains and engineers on the boats to be able to find that additional talent. Pending job offers, we do have discussions underway with the CFO and with executive legal counsel, and we continue to advertise the port assistant manager as well as the chief administrative officer. I will say the chief administrative officer, I think I have 12 resumes right now, and they're still coming in. So there's a lot of interest in that position. And just a reminder, our medical insurance increased by 3% with no increases to the other insurances. So that only having a 3% increase is definitely something that we're extremely happy about. And the last slide here, what I'd like to allow Ms. Angelina Vignier to talk about is just kind of the next steps with the rebranding.
So some of you have seen, we've presented the logo to you, and some have seen the website map. So I believe 3 of you I still need to get with to show you those logo presentations. Basically, we just want everybody to understand what the rebranding is going to consist of. I emailed you the baseline research survey today, and the next step will be to send that out for both the community and the business. We will have the logo review, and based on the feedback we've received from you so far, we'll have some different changes to it. We'll send that back out to all of the commissioners. The web design is underway in terms of the framing, and we will start working on the content within the next couple of weeks.
Thank you.
Any questions from the floor? From the table? Kim, next item on the agenda. Oh, we got one, sorry. Commissioner Jurcic?
Yes, I was glad to see that email this morning from you about the hearing the other day with the waterways and everything.
Yes.
So I'm glad you got that out to us because, believe it or not, some of us do watch that stuff. So.
Yeah, no, thank you very much, and that's a very good point. And I was a little disappointed that somehow there was an oversight and they missed our information. We responded on time.
Yep.
And I've asked DOTD to actually send out something to everybody that listened to that because we don't want that impression
Right.
that we didn't participate in
Thank
the
you for
state.
clarifying that.
Okay, thank you.
And just to add, Director Tillotson and I talked earlier, and he's taking corrective actions to make sure that doesn't reoccur. So we'll have assurances in place, so thank you. Kim, next item.
4, bids and advertisements. There are none. 5, introduction of ordinances and resolutions.
The following legislation is being introduced, The following legislation is offered for Councilmember Champagne. An ordinance in accordance with Louisiana Revised Statute 34:1351 et sec, and ordinance number 12-139, the Plaquemines Port Harbor and Terminal District is requesting that the Plaquemines Parish Civil Service Commission relinquish all human resource functions to the Plaquemines Port Harbor and Terminal District's Human Resource Office and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. A resolution to provide port employees group coverages consisting of health, dental, vision, and life for the policy period of January 1st, 2025 through December 31st, 2025, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. A resolution to provide insurance for Plaquemines Port Harbor and Terminal District for all departments, port rescue boats, ferries, and port assets for a period of January 1st, 2025 through December 31st, 2025, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. An ordinance to amend and initiate the collection of the Plaquemines Parish Port Harbor and Terminal District harbor fees, supplemental harbor fees, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. An ordinance to amend and to initiate the collection of the Plaquemines Parish Port Harbor and Terminal District security fees and security surcharges, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. A resolution to change the date of the Plaquemines Port Harbor and Terminal District's second regularly scheduled meeting in January 2025 from January 23rd, 2025 to January 30th, 2025, and that is it.
Thank you. Before we move on to the next item, I'd like to go over the items that will be deferred. So items 6B through 6I, that's 6 Bravo through 6 India, will be deferred. All right. All right, moving on, Kim, next item will be 6J.
6J, a resolution electing the Plaquemines Port Harbor and Terminal District Chairperson for 2025 and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. Commissioner Champagne.
I offer. Second by Commissioner McCarty. And Kim, fill in the blank.
Yes. The name of Commissioner Chris Schultz will be inserted.
Any comments from the floor? From the commissioners? Machines are open. And it passes 8-0. Next item.
A resolution electing the Plaquemines Port Harbor and Terminal District Vice Chairperson for 2025 and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. Commissioner Champagne.
I offer and fill in the blanks with Commissioner Newsom. Second by Commissioner Kognovich. Any comments from the floor?
Clarence Brock, 156 Enos Camelland. I got a question. We electing two officers, and didn't we say we supposed to have an election coming up very soon that we're gonna, if we win the election, we're gonna eliminate the entire council? So do we still need those individuals?
Good question, and I'll tell you that that would take place a year from now anyway, so we would still have to appoint this for another year.
Yeah, all right. I thought it was in January.
So,
I thought it was in January.
no, good question, though. Yeah.
Mike.
All right. Got the wrong January. Thank you.
Any other questions from the floor? From the commission? Machines are open. And it passes 8-0. Next item.
An ordinance authorizing Executive Director Charles D. Tillotson of the Plaquemines Port Harbor and Terminal District to enter into a 3-month professional services contract with Glow Resources to assist in the transition of the Chief Administrative Officer position and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. Commissioner Champagne.
I offer. Ask for a second. Second from Commissioner Schultz. And this is to bring Christie back on board to help with the transition of our new hire when we eventually get him. Any comments from the floor? From the commission? Commissioner Newsom?
Just, Mr. Conover, just imagine, what is, I don't see a cost on here. Do we have a?
It's actually the same thing that she was making, just divided by, towards an hourly rate.
Okay,
And I'll send you the clarification for that.
and it's everybody. Okay. All 9.
Commissioner Schultz?
This is for now, 3 months. Hopefully, we can get somebody on board and train within those 3 months, correct?
I am very encouraged with the resumes that we have. We have some very competitive resumes, and 90 days should be all we need for this transition.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Commissioner Kognovich?
I think that's a little high for a person to train somebody, huh?
Well, it's not necessarily to train. What it is to really cross over in all of the details stuff like insurance. I mean, our insurance, program is very detailed and complicated, and we want to make sure we don't miss anything on the insurance side. I mean, if you think back about 23, we were flat. We didn't have any increases. We just had a 3% increase this year. I mean, that's a big part of it. The other part of it is going over all of our policies, all of our procedures, getting all of that stuff lined up with the next person, as well as we are budgeted to start a ISO international certification in 2025, and we want to make sure that there's a good transition from the old policies to the new process that we're going to be following.
I understand all that, but it's still, that's a lot of money to come in, and if we wanted a new person coming in, the person we buy the insurance from could tell everything, and
Well, that
they
is,
should know, they should have a knowledge of insurance and policies and all that.
yeah, your point is very well taken, and what I will tell you, what I've learned firsthand with what the job that Ms. Nielsen was doing for the port, the devil is in the details, right? And so, there was a lot of institutional knowledge over a decade that walked out of the office, and it's just something that we're gonna have to be very careful with. Same thing with, the CFO position. There will be a transition with the existing agreement with Mr. Tommy Surpass, so we will have a crossover there as well. We just want to make sure we have a smooth transition and that we don't lose any ground or make any mistakes during the transition period. So if we can shorten it, Commissioner Kokmovich, we will most definitely do that. So 90 days would be on the outside.
Commissioner Jurcic.
Yes, I gotta agree with Mr. Konovich on this. Another thing, when we told Christy bye that day, he said, sure, gonna miss her. And she's back. This seems like a deal that was made prior to her retiring, because all of a sudden it just, to me, it's a little, it's a deal that was made ahead, prior to her retirement. So we should have just said, well, we're gonna miss you here, but we'll see you soon. It's acting like it wasn't coming back.
I appreciate that, and we actually did. We were very clear that we were going to bring her back to help with that transition.
I just think it's high, for part-time basis.
You. Commissioner Newsom.
One more, I promise, one more question. So, you said the current rate, is this the current rate of pay will be in 2024? Does it include the 3% raise for 25? Will that be
No,
the
it's
pay?
it's the rate that she retired at.
So whatever I shouldn't say, whatever the rate of the person in 2024 will be the rate in 2025.
That's correct.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Machines are open.
Oh, Mr. Schultz.
And the item passes 6 in favor, 2 against. Next item.
A resolution to amend Resolution 24-191 that authorized and directed the Port Executive Director Charles Tillotson to amend the CEA between the Plaquemines Port Harbor and Terminal District and the Regional Transit Authority and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. Commissioner Champagne.
I offer and ask for a second. Second by Commissioner Koknovich. And again, this is for us to have the CEA with RTA, and I just want to applaud your efforts on doing this because it shows that we're working regionally with our regional partners to support each other in case with ferries, and I think that's a good move, and it adds to what we're already doing with Jefferson Parish and our efforts with Peters Road and Walker Road. So just a good look for Plaquemines Parish. So any comments from the floor? From the commission? Machines are open. And it passes 8-0. Next item.
An ordinance authorizing the Executive Director of the Port, Charles Tillotson, to move forward with Phase 2 of the Plaquemines Port Harbor and Terminal District's rebranding campaign being facilitated by Palmer Advertising and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. Commissioner Champagne.
I offer, ask for a second. Second by Commissioner McCarty. Any comments from the floor? From the commissioners? Commissioner Schultz.
Yes, first of all, this is already budget money, but, do you want to expand upon what actually is being, I know we had the meeting earlier this week, so I know, but just for the public, what is actually being done in phase two, versus what we've already done?
Phase two is basically the PR and the advertising campaign itself. So there'll be a global campaign and there's going to be a community outreach campaign. So this could consist of placements and advertisements, graphic design, social media campaign, outreach, public relations, press release, all of those things to take our new logo and our new website to the marketplace and to the community so people actually see the work that has been done. So carrying out the rebranding into the next year. And then the survey also, but that's been covered already. That's, but we will have a survey in phase two, a second one. It's already budgeted
Sorry.
for, yes, this money's already in the budget.
And again, remember the survey that we're going to do, we're creating a baseline of what the perception, what people know about us today, so that a year or 2 years from now, we have, some objective data to actually measure, how successful our campaign turned out to be. Thank you.
Commissioner Kokrovich?
Yeah, with the first part you said when you was at the thing and all, have you given that presentation to Bobby?
Yes,
No,
not the logos.
I never got it.
The
No.
logos or the community research?
Either one.
No, the
No.
logos are internal to the commission only. That is still not privy to anybody outside of the port.
And that's a very good question. So what we determined with the pre-budget meeting, we actually shared the branding information on the tail end of that. We still owe you a meeting. We owe Commissioner LaFrance a meeting, as well as Commissioner
Edwards,
Edwards.
yes. So we'll get with each of you to show you those items.
So the commissioners will be first before anybody.
Correct.
Brought it up long ago. If that group finds out something before me, I got a problem with it.
They have not.
We-
This has
we-
been internal to the commission only and our executive team.
Thank
Any other comments? Machines are open. And it passes 8-0. Next item, Kim?
7, new business, 8, approval of the October 24th, 2024 regular meeting minutes.
Offered by Commissioner Newsom, seconded by Commissioner Schultz. Machines are open. No.
I want to say something about the minutes.
And the machine's not working. And it, but mine finally came up, 8-0. Well, one other item, very important item that we forgot to cover. Today is someone's birthday. Crystal, happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you for all your hard work, and happy 21st birthday.
Thank you, appreciate it.
All right, next item, Kim.
She's legal.
Motion adjourned by Commissioner Schultz, seconded by Commissioner Newsom. Machines are open.
Thank you, thank you.
Like at the record state that the November 14th meeting of the Plaquemines Parish Port Harbor and Terminal District has ended at 5:38 PM.